Welcome back.
That's it.
That's it.
Cut. Welcome back.
That's it.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody. if you're watching, we have
Hi, everybody.
a high energy start to our second character creation session of Lancer.
Yeah, bienvenidos.
Bienvenidos. We're not doing that again because you know more than me and it's embarrassing.
The fact that you don't know Spanish is quite embarrassing.
I know Arabic.
Yeah.
Are you embarrassed?
How often do you use that in the United States?
Kalilan.
Very little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So last time, also, obviously there's some gaps in between our content, a lot more than usual. That's because we are doing new things and it is difficult, but we're getting it figured out. Obviously, we still have all this goodness right here. A little bit difficult to read, but we're going to endeavor to make it bigger like that whenever we want to show you some specifics going on here.
Look at content. Look at all this wonderful content. Wow.
And then we're going to come back to us. So you have to look at us. And then we're going to keep talking. Yeah. And we're still going to try to put out something weekly. However, it might be every other week, depending on how life is doing life stuff. Sounds good?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Two more characters for our Lancer campaign.
Two.
More characters for our
two
Lancer
characters.
campaign. More characters for our Lancer campaign.
Let's get it. Okay.
All right, so we're starting with the pilot.
Well, first off, what characters do we have so far?
So far, we have Zhao Ji Stouffer,
Yep.
which I realized watching the video back and listening to the audio. Zhao Ji's very like Chinese sounding,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Smith Shimano is like
Japanese.
Anglo and Japanese.
Yeah.
Which is fine, you know, in the far-flung, fantastical sci-fi future.
Where cultures blend and meld
And
you get
intertwine.
very interesting combinations.
That doesn't mean you can't have a Chinese because it's not Earth. So I guess, you know what? Naming schemes don't matter.
Naming schemes don't matter.
Cultures they're different.
Kenny logs in.
Kenny logs in and Zhao Ji Stouffer.
Yeah.
Zhao Ji Stouffer was a mechanic, actually, to start. I think we misquoted that a couple times. Started as a mechanic, got some pretty interesting triggers and bits.
He did get some hacker. He did get the talents. He got the hacker talent.
Mm-hmm. He's a little bit of a hothead.
Yeah, likes to make things explode. To tell you what, brother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He, again, hothead, loves applying fist to faces. Let's look at them. We're experts in what we're doing.
Experts.
Oh yeah, Barracuda.
Yeah, respects his elders.
Yeah,
and is a little bit of a show off.
show off, loves to blow stuff up, and is always the contrarian.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
He's got agility, one in engineering. He's a hacker, a heavy gunner, and a leader.
Yes. Boom.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Bada boom, bada bing.
In comparison to our lovely Kenny logs in
Mm-hmm. Codename Brutus.
at 2 Brute. Got a couple points in his mech skill. He's a skirmisher,
Mm-hmm.
a centimane, which involves him using like little nanobots and stuff, and is also a hacker.
That's right.
Yes.
And he likes applying fists to faces. He loves to assault, take part in direct and overt combat, and hacking by brute force. And the power of friendship is his last trigger.
Yeah.
Which, good for you, Jacob. You won.
I did.
You win.
You're welcome.
Great.
So those are our characters.
Oh, and there are two mechs. Zhao Ji was using the Monarch, and Brutus using a third party.
Not a third party.
Or not third party, a supplemental mech.
Or known as the Zhang.
The big ol' fist.
Yep, which is a reconfigured relay.
This guy knows his stuff.
It's the one at the pistol.
Yeah.
The pistol and the big hat looking helmet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
That's our pilot roster thus far. And now I think, we're not really getting into the campaign stuff so much as of yet. So let's just, you want to just jump right back into character creation?
Absolutely. So let's jump in.
So back to the pilot, page 20.
Background.
Here we go. We already touched on license levels.
Yes.
Everyone starts at license level 0, unless you want to do it differently in your game. First things first. Background. Let's roll.
D20, you roll it.
I want to do it.
Get it. Yeah. That's an 18, which is
a super soldier. Sick.
Oh.
Super cool.
Interesting.
Man, we're feeling very singy today.
Yeah.
Super soldier.
Yeah. Shall I read or shall you read?
I feel like in general, it's better when I read. Go ahead.
Thank you. You were the result of a corporate or state project intended to create better soldiers using biological enhancement, gene therapy, neurological enhancement, or even just extreme conditioning.
Were you raised from birth to become what you are? Or did you volunteer as an adult for a super soldier program, a la Captain America? Are you one of the countless super soldiers to be produced by Harrison Army's facsimile cloning program? Cloning. Yeah, I know. Was the project sanctioned or not? Did it succeed? Blah, blah, blah. Under the third column, fewer programs like the one that you created you still operate. Are you happy? Or do you think that makes the Union weak? Interesting. Were you liberated or are you still in the service? So lots of really deep backstory elements to tie in here.
Yes, and they also reference some interesting elements of one of the major manufacturers, Harrison Armory, who is also the foremost user in cloning. And depending on when this character or when this when this campaign takes place, could also be a Flash clone. Which, when Harrison Army was, liberating quote unquote planets, would use Flash clones to make massive armies within a few short years and then send them off to their death.
Nice.
However, when something that's meant to be raised very slowly over the course of 18 or so years when they reach adulthood, if you shorten that down into a few years, some things tend to go wrong. They tend to have lots of genetic problems, neurological issues. So it was not used for very long because it was deemed inhumane.
Inhumane.
Yes.
Which, inhumane.
Inhumane in third com size. Setcom, we
whatever. Dude.
We don't know about Setcom. Setcom was a little crazy.
Who cares, dude? Triggers. There are, I believe we landed that there are 20 of them.
No, there's more than 20.
22.
So you shall I?
You shall I?
Shall I?
Sure.
What do we roll for that?
I think we just rolled a d20.
Yeah, I think we did. Let's just roll a d20.
Just roll a d20.
Let's just roll a d20 for those of you who would like to take a look. Wow, look at that. You get to see the roll too and everything.
17. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. Stay cool. Perform a task that requires concentration, dexterity, speed, or precision under pressure. Pick a lock while your squad trades fire with encroaching guards. Carefully disarm an explosive or unjam a gun under fire. Stay cool. Stay cool, baby. Cool. That one's easy.
Okay.
Nice.
Very nice. So we have 4. So we roll 2, make 2.
Yes.
Okay. Let's just get the second one out of the way. So this person is, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Stay cool. So super soldier was literally created to be cool,
perform under
fire
pressure.
and under pressure. So
very much like
20.
Take someone out. This is perfect.
Okay.
Kill or disable someone quickly and quietly, up close and personal or from a distance, probably before they even notice you're there. If you're looking down a sniper scope at a target, preparing to knock out a guard with a strategic nerve pinch, quick drawing during a gun duel or dropping from a ceiling to slit a throat, you're trying to take someone out. And then never call them again.
I don't like that.
Me neither.
That's mean.
Anchor, man.
That's mean.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So
these are both fit. He's a killer.
An assassin.
This dude's a freaking killer.
A killer, cold-blooded killer of some
sure.
sort. Less so standing on the front lines, but definitely getting in there. Take him out. Unseen. Get him out of there. American sniper.
Nice. Except that last part.
American?
No, because Chris Kyle.
Oh, he died?
It was bad. He freaked out. Anyway.
Poor guy.
Okay. Bored as hell.
So, D20.
Great. So those are going to be our 2 triggers. Stay cool and take someone out. It's time to start brainstorming.
Yes. Okay, so what are you feeling? So what are you thinking? What would you think of a super soldier, keeps his cool under pressure, murders people?
Murder.
Quietly.
Oh, let's do the talents first.
You want to do the talents
before
first?
we go back?
Double back?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. I like that.
I like that.
When we did that last time.
I like that. Okay, we got 3 talents. Now there's 20. There are 29, Jake.
29.
Yes.
You know what to do, baby.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Tell me, what was it?
You roll a D4 and a D10.
10.
Got it. Where are they at?
Now, as a reminder, this is the really weird method that Jake decided for us to do.
It makes sense.
But makes more sense statistically. You didn't let me finish.
It do.
Didn't let me finish.
It do.
The 1s is a 0 in the 10s place. The 2 is a 1. 3 is a 2. And the 4 we reroll.
That's right.
Okay. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Reroll that 4. 2. That is a 12.
12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Exemplar. That sounds like it makes a lot of sense.
This guy is turning out to be a straight up like paladin, a mech paladin.
Yeah.
That's great.
I like it. Okay. Aemon Metreus's liver is famous.
Livery.
His
colors. His
livery.
Livery.
Livery is famous. His voice brassy. His weapons polished to a sheen. As the advocate for the 9 spheres, his training with certain martial orders has given him the power to harry and hinder even the most powerful of foes. Aemon is an exemplar of the spheres by words and by action.
Good.
Gives him an honorable challenge at our first tier here. First time on your turn, when you attack a hostile creature within range 3, hit or miss, you may give them the exemplar's mark as a free action. Characters can only use 1 exemplar's mark at a time. New marks from any character replace the existing mark. Characters use the exemplar's mark to start their next turn. While they have it, they gain the Valiant Aid reaction, which means that ally character can mark and misses. Your ally may reroll the attack. So you essentially give somebody a reroll who attacks that character.
Cool. Super cool.
I like that.
Great. And then after that, you get punishment and to the death. Very paladin-y.
Very. Kind of like a, or almost like a hex. Like hex.
Yeah, it's a little bit like a hex
thing. But instead of getting extra damage, they get a little reroll.
I looked, there is 9 spheres. I searched the entire core rulebook for the term 9 spheres. This is the only mention of it in Exemplar.
Interesting.
I will try to find more information about this.
This might be in some supplemental stuff.
I'll try to find more information about the 9 spheres. How about you go ahead and roll that next talent there, big boy?
Okay, I will. Okay, shut.
Big Papa.
Oh, no.
Big Papa.
Big Papa.
Trying to play footsies with me, dude? Did you miss?
It's gone.
It's gone?
I got it.
You got it? Technical difficulties.
Here at the Prolo Productions Podcast, we strive for professionalism. Reroll. It's 22.
22. What was this?
12.
12. 13. 14, 15, 16, 17. 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay. Damn it. 22. Siege Specialist. Ooh. Baby.
Interesting. Okay. So, Siege Specialist. Oh. Shall you read this? Shall you read this one? Would you like to read this
let's
one?
do it. No walls can withstand you. No bunker can stay sealed. Your skill with cannon and blast is uncanny. After action reports describe ordnance targeted with your firing signature hitting targets with an accuracy greater than if it had been fired by an AI. A stat written off as an anomaly by your commanders. Still, they always seem to pick you for missions that call for the big guns. Your first rank gives you jackhammer. If you have a cannon, as a quick action, you can fire a jackhammer round from an underslug launcher, automatically dealing 10 armor-piercing kinetic damage to a size 1 section of any object within range, whether it be cover, deployable equipment, buildings, etc. Any characters adjacent to your target are knocked back from it by 2 spaces and take 2 kinetic damage. Wow.
So, yeah, so this guy, while, what's his name? The first guy. The
Zhao Ji Stover.
Zhao Ji. Yeah. While Zhao Ji is ordnance, this guy's a little bit more, or Zhao Ji's main focus, or especially for a Monarch mech, is the ability to control the battlefield by laying down covering fire, by doing like carpet bombs and doing multiple missile areas that kind of block off a section of the battle map.
Yeah.
This guy is very specific targeting, like targeted ordnance, taking out specific key targets, specific walls.
He's a breacher.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's normally, if he was on the ground, he'd probably have a shotgun, a ram, some flashbangs. Get on the fucking ground. Get on the ground right now.
Almost like special forces, kind of like get in, get out, make noise when everything's like set in place.
That's right. Then after jackhammer, there's impact and collateral damage. We're not going to get into that. It basically does more knockback and more damage, I believe.
Yes.
Great.
So just further on this jackhammer ability.
Jacob's having a stroke.
Okay. Listen, I'm having a stroke. I'm okay. Everything's fine.
Stroke.
Okay, we're gonna jump back to your.
We get 2 talents,
or 2 talents.
2 talents to start.
2 talents.
To start.
Let's just double check.
Let's go back.
I believe we get 3.
Back to the back to back to back.
We get 3 talents. 3 to 2 talents. 3 talents.
Yeah. That is a 9.
9. Get all the way back. You got this.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Perfect.
Drone commander.
Oh, you don't say.
Why don't you go ahead and read that there, buddy boy?
Jesus.
Oh, man, it just totally went down. I'll do it.
You got it.
For a pilot fresh out of boot, keeping a drone swarm in the line is like trying to keep a drone swarm in line is like trying to carry water with a net. They seem to have a mind of their own. It's because they do, and it's not that smart. Kleiman Kanalakos' initial frustration was enough to get her practicing, and practice pays off. Now her swarm obeys almost before she orders. An unnerving development, but a useful one. The swarm is hers. So you get the shepherd. Your drone systems gain +5 health. As a protocol, you can move one drone that you control that is within sensors up to 4 spaces.
Wow.
This is a very interesting individual.
So I think, as a mech pilot is very much a get in or, have everything set up in place, use the breach charge, send in the drones, causing chaos while everybody kind of comes in.
Or maybe even send in the drones. He's like a one-man army type situation. Like send this guy in first and everyone just else is in the backline supporting as he's just getting in there. Drones are like keeping watch and spotting as he just plows through into the combat zone. You know what I mean?
Well, drones can also play like interception, and they can kind of like, they basically just cause chaos.
Nice.
Everything. Cause chaos and everything. So
good stuff.
That's mighty fine.
I like that. And then after you get energized, swarm, and invigorate.
Yes.
Which is cool.
Further augmenting.
Basically, energized swarm is you can emit a vicious pulse of energy, which does damage. And then invigorate lets you extend that pulse, drawing a line. And you can, oh my gosh, this is so interesting. Allied characters who are the pulse's target can get overshield, and any hostile characters get damage instead. That's really cool.
Within range 3. Okay.
Yeah.
So range 3, you can, ideally you'd hit 3 targets with it.
That'd be cool.
And one or two of your allies plus an enemy.
Yeah. And it shields or damages.
That's pretty cool.
Which is pretty sick.
I like that.
So like survivability, a little bit of support, and just in your freaking face, dude.
Yeah. I like it. Okay. So those are the abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So now let's double back and get those last couple triggers for our actual character, shall we?
Triggers.
So we got 2. We have to make 2.
Okay.
So
pull up the notepad. Let's see here.
So what are we thinking?
So super soldier.
Yeah.
Gets right up in there. Stays cool.
Under pressure.
Has drones. Has breach charge. Right. Maybe.
I'm thinking something like.
And this is outside mech. Triggers.
Yes, this is as a character.
Okay.
I'm thinking something to do with like where like once everything's like set in place, or maybe like the process of like trying to get all the pieces together. Like so what's the plan?
What's the plan?
Yeah, what's the plan?
He's the planner.
Yeah.
Well, he's the exemplar as well.
Yeah.
So that checks out.
So what's the plan?
So
when it specifically comes to coming up with, a plan of attack for whatever mission that they're doing, maybe even so this one's it's pretty good.
I mean, it's very general because even like imagine there's like a scene where they're like having downtime in a bar and they're trying to gather information. It's
specifically for like the planning stage, not necessarily gathering the information, but it's like getting all the pieces together.
Yeah.
So I guess it's pretty it's pointed enough that I don't think.
Well, this would also be a good opportunity for the GM because you'd be like, okay, that's kind of a general trigger. We need pretty solid information about your character so that then the GM could make those determinations of whether or not the trigger applies.
Yeah.
Because what's the plan might apply in like a tactical sense, but not in a like social sense. Right. In some ways, you know what I mean?
So I feel like this character would be more when coming up with tactical plans or, trying to come up with a plan B on the fly, then you can do what's the plan. So then them like their staying cool ability kind of leans in, kind of reinforces that idea that this character is more of a tactical mind than as opposed to like, going into a bar and trying to find the guy who's trying to find the guy who's got the info they need.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's a good one.
That's a good one.
What else we got? What else are you thinking?
How about something like loyal to the cause?
Okay.
Like, so we do one because in the super soldier bit, it was talking about like, do they feel as though they benefited from like their super soldier background, or do they feel as though like it made them an outcast? So maybe we do a loyal to the cause, and then we do one that's the opposite of like against the grain or something like that.
Ooh, against the grain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do one more.
What if this person had like? What if they like fled Union? And so now, I guess against the grain would kind of be more for that too. But maybe
how about
instead of loyal to the cause?
How about something as simple as deserter?
Loyal to the purview.
Loyal to the purview.
That's kind of like that's what they call the like Union sphere of influence is the purview.
Purview spelled with a U.
Listen.
It's okay.
I got it.
I got you.
Listen, they didn't see that.
And yeah, maybe they were like, that's more of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a philosophical sort of one. But maybe they're literally like an outcast or a deserter. Maybe they went AWOL and like trained using their super soldier abilities to become like a lancer, becoming very skilled, but hiding their identity.
Yeah, change their name, change their whole thing. But, a fellow super soldier will recognize that.
Or somebody in their chain of command, maybe. Yeah. Or somebody who even recognizes their like modifications could be like, I know where you got those.
I know that, Mac.
Something like that. Cool.
Ooh.
Great.
So I got 4.
What's the plan? Lower to the purview, against the grain, and deserter.
I like them.
Great.
Shall you?
D4.
Shall
me
you?
first, then you.
Cheers.
So very kind of you.
Sure.
Sir. Thank you.
Sure.
Whoop. 2.
See those rolls, baby.
Loyal to the purview.
Loyal to the purview.
And against the grain. I feel like those are a little bit. Well, actually, maybe not. Maybe against the grain refers to like, because always the contrarian kind of sort of, but against the grain as in like most of the time when they're doing something, it's not like how a normal person would think something through.
Yeah.
And so it sort of lends them.
He has a unique perspective because he's tactically minded. So
and because he's literally built for a specific purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool. Against the grain and loyal to the purview.
Against the grain. Against the grain. Against the grain and loyal to the purview. Okay. Well, very nice. I like this.
I like them too.
I like this. Against the grain and loyal to the purview. I think that's, otherwise we just have to get a name, right? Do we not?
I think, we choose a mech and get a name.
And a mech.
Mech.
So...
We could focus on Harrison Armory.
I think Harrison Armory would make a lot of sense. So having a specific one.
Especially if we make a character.
So shall we? Shall we go to Harrison Armory?
There's 4, main mech manufacturers. So if we already have North Star, we already have Smith Shimano. This fits Harrison Armory perfectly. Maybe our number 4 is
maybe we can try and do. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's go to Harrison Armory on page 224.
224.
There we go.
So I already have it. I already kind of have an idea.
Beautiful art.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Truly, truly a fantastic one. So it depends. It depends if we're looking for this guy is like backline ordnance, which I don't think is the case. He's more of a get in there, get it done.
For sure.
Get it done kind of man.
So let's read a little bit about Harrison Armory. Why don't we? Why don't we?
Shall you while I?
Shall I while you?
Oh, how silly. Silly of me. We haven't added their mech skills.
Why don't you roll for the mech skills while I track this info down?
Okay. Boom. So we got a 3. So he increases his systems, which is E defense, and then that's realistic. And agility.
Nice.
Okay. A little bit of speed, a little bit more E defense, which, it's fine. It's good. If he gets a couple, he also gets more system points, so he can add on some cool augments. He can carry around more,
grenades,
grenades, smoke charges, all kinds
breaching
of
charges,
breaching charges.
Yeah. So, Harrison Armory, superior by design. Harrison Armory enjoys a galaxy-wide reputation for the quality of its weapons and defense systems. Also, sorry if I'm sound a little nasally. I got some thickiness going on.
Stop it.
I'll try. The Corpro State previously specialized in ordnance and other armaments, making it reliant on competitors' frames as mounts for deluxe equipment. However, since the overthrow of Union's second comm, Harrison Armory has broadened its product line to include an extensive range of peerless frontline frames. Perfect for the super soldier.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. Their frames are perfect for pilots looking to field durable frontline mechs. Amazing. There are some core bonuses. You can increase to heat cap and improve your limited systems and overcharge capabilities. Do you want to explain an overcharge a little bit? Did we touch on that?
Overcharge?
Yeah. Did we touch on that?
So what overcharge is, we discussed it briefly. Overcharge is essentially a free action that your character can do on their turn, which gives them an additional quick action, which isn't necessarily used to use any heavy weapon stuffs, but you can use it to make an additional move. You can use it to fire off a non-heavy weapon. You can use it for more tech attacks.
But it also gives you heat, right? Yes.
So every time you use it, it gives you heat. And every additional time you use it, that heat, that potential for more heat grows ever greater.
Nice.
First time I believe you get 1, and then the next time is a D3. After that's a D6, and then every time after that, it's like a D6.
Or it doubles basically every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. This does say you must have at least 3 license levels in Harrison Armory licenses to take a bonus in any of these skills from this list. And these skills are pretty cool. You have adaptive reactor. When you stabilize and choose to cool your mech, you may spend 2 repairs. I'm not going to go into these super big or super detailed. armory sculpted chassis, heat fall coolant system, integrated ammo feed, stasis shielding, and superior by design.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. All right.
So what I'm thinking,
let's get into the mechs.
They got some really interesting mechs. If you want to be a giant apartment building that with a giant fucking cannon on the back of your thing, you can be the Barbarossa. They've got the Genghis if you want to be flamethrower.
That might be good.
There's the Genghis Mark 1 if you want to be that but bigger.
There's the Iskander,
which deals with I believe magnetism.
It's super cool. Breach capabilities to a mechanized platform.
So that one could be good. There's also the standard Harrison Armory mech is the Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like their jack of all trades ones, but it has like a giant cannon on its chest.
I think that since we can't really narrow it down to one in particular,
Saladin I think would also be Saladin,
and then the Sherman.
Yep, Sherman's got the giant gun on his shoulder.
Sherman Wallaby Way. And then we have the Tokugawa.
I don't think you have a Tokugawa.
Okay.
Although it is a get in there. Keep your heat high so you can do more damage with your attacks. It's very aggressive, but I don't think this guy's necessarily like an aggressive mech pilot.
Okay.
It's a little bit more calculated, probably would lean into more of the defensive type.
Great. Well, why don't we roll then, getting rid of the Tokugawa? Why don't we roll on the list?
So it should be 6.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exactly 6 choices. Let's do it.
Okay. So let us see then.
Let the die decide. You missed.
6.
That's the Sherman. B. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
Sherman's great. It's got a giant cannon on its back. It does deal with as your heat cap goes up. I think it adds a little bit more capabilities to the cannon on your shoulder.
Amazing.
Yeah, so the Sherman is the classic Harrison Armory frame. Any station, nation, world, or state, stellar or interstellar, with an armory, fleet supply, contract fields, a backbone force of Sherman mechs. The Sherman is designed to carry a range of Harrison Armory main battle line energy weaponry with a rugged, versatile reactor to back it up. After the GMS SP-1 Everest, the Sherman's the second most common mech in the core systems. So common that GMS has recently begun equipping its stock models with more ablative. What is ablative?
I'm pretty sure it means explosive protection. This might be a word that I'm actually not 100% on.
This is a new one.
I think ablative means it helps prevent kinetic damage, and it sort of just fractures and falls rather than allowing stuff to go inside.
The more you know.
The more you know. I'm going to look it up.
Anyway, ablative wave scatter defenses, specifically to deal with hostile actors fielding Shermans. At the present, the Mark I is in wide use with exclusive first contract Mark II units only, now rolling off the lines at Rosh Shamra and other armory special projects.
It actually is for heat damage, basically. Relating to or subject to ablation through melting or evaporation. Ablation. Actually, explosives would match because it's incredibly hot explosion that is melting stuff. So it's basically anti-melting.
Lovely.
Okay.
So that being said, it does have the kind of cannon on its shoulder, but it's still a fairly versatile mech. Its stats,
I feel like this actually makes a lot of sense for a super soldier who probably had maybe a highly specialized version of a Sherman. There was a specialized strike squad, and each one had their own, what's the show? The Clone Wars, the animated one, the Bad Batch, how they all have their own armor that's kitted out for them specifically. Maybe he was in a squad of super soldiers that had their own Sherman.
They were the reject.
Oh, that's so cool.
Reject Flash clones.
And they all had their idiosyncrasies, and so they gave them their own squad and they sent them out on strike missions.
So that's why Against the Grain makes sense.
That's sick.
So yeah. The stats that they have are fairly standard. You get a little bit of armor, HP's pretty good, evasion's a little bit on the low side, decent speed, save targets, all that stuff's pretty good. Nice heat cap.
It's all right here for you.
All right there for you.
Yeah. There's also some traits here. It has a superior reactor It has a Mather stop. When it clears all heat, you may choose to receive heat equal to half of its heat cap, putting it in the danger zone. Because for the Sherman, you actually want heat, right?
Yeah, with the what's the word? Their cannon that they have. When you're at the danger zone, you get a little extra damage.
And they have the vent heat. When you stabilize the Sherman or it exceeds its heat cap. So basically, when it's at its heat cap and you stabilize, that
you basically create a steam cloud.
You create soft cover for yourself, which is super cool.
Oh, yeah.
So you're always in the margins. You're always trying to toe the margins as far as like, that's super cool. I feel like this fits this person so perfectly.
Yeah. And then you can, this pilot can choose system points to choose a more defensive and more supportive play style. So you can get your, frag grenades, breaching charges. You can get all that good stuff when you're actually, kitting up for the fight, kitting up for the mission.
Yeah. Also, we've only done one character and we're already at 36 minutes.
It's great. This is a good one.
I think we need to pick it up a little bit.
No.
Great. That's the Sherman.
What's this guy's name?
Roll on the random thing.
This is important.
Roll on the random thing.
This is him. Or her. It's she. This color is a female super soldier.
Sure. Hell yeah.
All about it. It won't let me. No.
I like it. No, go to the edit on name. Right there.
Will it let me roll it? It won't.
Where were you able to do it before?
I just had to save it. It's fine.
That's okay. Let's come up with a name.
How
about it's just like super soldier? What's a name for a super soldier? You know what I mean? Like not like a real name.
Sierra 117 kind of deal, like Halo.
Sure.
We can do
how about
Sigma?
No, Sigma's not a character. Sigma's Sierra in military parlance.
Oh, so you're saying
how about Zulu?
Zulu?
Let's do Zulu. Now you choose a number. Zulu 6. How about just Zulu 3?
Zulu 183?
Sure, why not? Zulu 183. Fuck it.
Okay.
Sounds good. Call sign Zoo. It's already there. That's crazy.
What about Zuzu?
Zuzu?
Or
call sign Zuzu?
Pretty good.
Really funny. Awesome. I love that. Okay, we're good. Zuzu.
Yeah.
Zulu 183, super soldier.
Like it.
Let's go. All right, let's make our second character.
Okay. Boom. We're going back.
We're going back to the back.
We're going to bring it back.
Bring it back, baby. I'm going to roll background.
Look at our faces for a second. Hi. Look at the dice. Look at that. What'd you roll? You rolled a 9.
A 9. That is a NHP specialist.
Oh, baby. Horus.
Oh, that actually works out perfectly.
Yeah, that's a Horus. That's a Horus guy right there.
So, NHP specialist, you were closely involved in the study, creation, or maintenance of prime non-human person. Yes. Of a prime non-human person. Non-human persons, or NHPs, are complex artificial intelligences. As a prime NHP, the one you were associated with was even more complex than most. So you were a scientist or engineer, or like a priest or shaman? Do you have a personal connection to them after all this time? How do clones that NHP perceive you? And now that you're a pilot, how do you feel about non-human intelligence?
Yeah. So real quick, NHPs, how they work is that there's a prime NHP, which is like the base version of that NHP. And then they make copies of it, and that's how they distribute it. But they usually keep the prime NHP locked up.
Okay.
Away.
Interesting.
And it's the iterations of that NHP that they distribute out to people.
That is that makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. The most powerful one they keep under lock and key.
Yep.
And they have like shadow clones.
Yes.
Dope. That's the wrong one.
It's fine.
Was that a 90?
It's 29.
29. Wait. No. This is the wrong thing for this. Yes, we're rolling this. 4.
4.
2, 3, 4. Blow something up.
Cool.
Do something crazy.
Do you want to keep that one? We already have someone with blow something
up.
You
know what? Let's roll until we get another one. Okay. 2. Apply fist to faces. Okay, let's try this again.
One more time. Dude,
holy, I'm rolling like so bad.
9.
Invent or create.
Okay,
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Invent or create like tools and supplies, or use tools and supplies to design and build something either on the fly or over time. Invent new devices, tools, or approaches to problems.
Right. Okay.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Beautiful.
Roll again. 12. 9, 10, 11, 12. Patch. Apply medical knowledge to medicate, bandage a wound, stitch bleeding, suture, cauterize, neutralize poison, or resuscitate. Alternatively, diagnose or study disease, pathogens, or symptoms.
Okay.
So a scientist.
A scientist for sure.
Very much a scientist.
I like this.
Cool.
Okay, so we got the 2. We'll double back once we get a better idea of this character's abilities.
Now we're rolling through it.
Now we roll the 29 deal that you did. There you go. There you go. You got it, bud.
29. Dude, that's what I rolled last time.
The last option.
That's crazy.
Check that last option out.
Check it.
Check it out.
Check it.
So check it out.
Oh, wait, I got to go to page 90.
Okay. Well, while he's doing that, you're gonna look. Hi, how you doing? Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sticking along. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Walking armory.
Okay.
Think of a firefight. What's your average pilot or trooper going to sling? Jacketed lead, of course. A mag or 3 of depleted uranium if their target's a big one. Boring. No. Worse than boring. Dull. Predictable. Basic. And guess what? Dull isn't fun. Predictable gets you killed, and basic leaves a boring body. Put down the depleted uranium and pick up a magazine of an originary stutter blink slugs, or at least a pack of tachyon flechettes. Lay waste in style and live forever. That's hilarious. Which actually makes a lot of sense. As a scientist, maybe they even create their own rounds.
Yeah, they're like experimenting with different types of rounds.
That's
or some paracausal ammunition could be interesting because they're dealing with NHPs.
Mm-hmm. So we have armament. You carry a supply of custom ammunition that can be used with all of your main ranged weapons. You gain thumper rounds, attack gains knockback, shock rounds, deals shock damage, and adjacent characters take 1 armor piercing. And mag, the attack gains arcing and deals, what is that symbol? Kinetic damage. And then you have expanded portfolio and efficiency.
Yep.
Which gives you
that just gives you more.
Hellfire, Jaeger, and Sabo rounds. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So arcing basically lets you fire over terrain. So if there's like if there's intervening terrain that would prevent you, otherwise you would shoot over it.
Sick.
Yeah.
All right. Roll again.
Very nice. 24. 29.
28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Spotter. Hello, spotter.
Okay, perfect. To see all, to divide each object you perceive from its unit or cohesion. Pull apart like individual fibers in a vast sheet. To count them as individuals. To make human and fragile the force you face.
You're doing great.
Why does that sound weird to my brain? This is to know how to beat them. Break apart the monolith. See the grains that make the stone. Crush them all into yet smaller dust.
Sounds pretty cool.
So their ability that they gain is particularize. When an allied character adjacent to you attacks a target and consumes a lock-on, they may roll twice and choose either roll.
It's cool. So this is very much a support trait.
Oh, 100%.
And then Panopticon. At the end of your turn, if you did not move and took the lock-on quick tech action, you may lock on once as a free action. Additionally, when you lock on, you learn your target's armor, speed, evasion, E-defense, mech skills, and current HP. What does the scouter say about his power level? That's what that is.
Yes. So normally you would have to do a tech attack, and then when you make that tech attack, you can choose to learn like all the information about it. You can do a scan, and that teaches you all of that. Lock on doesn't normally do that, so that kind of gives you a little 2-for-1.
That's cool. Yeah. And then Bentham Foucault Elimination.
That's
As a quick action, when you lock on, you may nominate an allied character adjacent to you. They may immediately make a quick action as a reaction, consuming your lock on. It does not need to be an attack, and they benefit from consuming the lock on condition if they do choose to attack. So they're pumping specialized rounds and giving everybody next to them bonuses. Very much a support character.
Oh, yeah.
And they probably have an NHP for their mech.
Well, depending on the mech that they end up getting.
Yeah. But if it's a Horus mech...
I think it's pretty common for them to have NHPs. So exactly. I think we would need to specifically choose one that has an NHP because that would make sense.
Okay, let's do that.
One more. You roll now.
Yay. Yeah. That is a
28.
Okay. Bring it back. Vanguard. Where would you rather be? In the battle line, shoulder to shoulder with the rest of the cannon fodder, or in the rush at the head of the attack? Your livery clean and bright with glory to be won. The answer is easy. All those missiles and lances, all those 100-kilometer just for Coriolis railguns, they're all useless against you. Get through their guard, get in their face, and make them know your name. So, a little bit of a willingness to get up in there.
So I think this character would be like backup for Zuzu.
Yeah. Maybe I think this character is also a female.
Yeah.
Zuzu and whoever this person is.
Yeah.
They're like a tag team.
Zuzu and Yuzu.
Zhao Zuzu and who?
Yuzu.
And Yuzu. Yuzu's delicious. So yeah, maybe Zhao and Kenny are like a pair, and Zuzu and this person are a pair.
Yeah.
Great.
Very nice.
Vanguard handshake etiquette. Gain +1 accuracy when using CQB weapons, which is close quarters battle weapons, to attack targets within 3. See-through seeker, and then semper vigilo, which means always vigilant. You may attack with Overwatch using CQB when hostiles enter, leave, or exit space within your threat, no matter whether they started their movement there or not. Cool.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay.
A little bit of a contrasting ability here.
That's true.
But you can make it work. You can still do lock on within short range, and then they also get little extra like benefits.
Yeah, a little bit.
Or maybe using the lock on when like initial engagement when they're farther apart, and then going and rushing in.
Yeah. When the bombardment's done, they switch to their secondary weapon and run in there to support Zuzu.
Yeah, using like stuff like the shock rounds or adjacent hands take 1 HP whether attack rolls the miss. Doing some knockback, so causing a little bit more. While Zuzu is a little bit more like defensive control during the initial engagement, during the engagement, this guy is going to be doing like constant. I don't know. I'm saying the same thing. I think I realize.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Good. Okay.
Everything's fine.
Okay, so we got the 3 abilities.
Also, I'm realizing if you're not really into Lancer, like us reading all this stuff is very much like, unless you really want to play, this could be probably pretty overwhelming. Like all these buzzwords.
Oh, lots of buzzwords. Hey, it's overwhelming me, and I know some of the stuff in this book.
That's okay. Anyway, 2 more triggers. Dos más.
Those triggers.
So far we have inventor, create, and patch. So medic skills and scientist skills.
Right. Or also something to deal with NHP specifically. Potentially.
Let's see here. This is dude, why are triggers so tough?
Calm. Oh, how about tame the beast? Like in being able to like sway like an NHP. Because NHPs are kind of have their own personality and have like a very specific directive when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
Maybe being able to sway them in a certain kind of way to like kind of pull them away from like their like directive or something.
Hyperlogical. Like the way that they communicate is like hyperlogical, and therefore it makes a lot of sense to non-human persons.
Okay. Persuade with logic. Or
hyperlogical.
Hyperlogical.
Yeah. Okay. Or maybe you could do like cerebral as fuck. Let's see.
Cerebral AF.
Great.
That's not.
How about next? Let's see here. This also says triggers can be more specific than the examples, but they shouldn't be more general.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. How about scientific, like they can pull scientific data very easily.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Do your research.
That's great. That's great.
Do your research. So when it comes to specifically researching like a scientific topic,
or even
or something
gleaning data from something.
Yeah. I like it.
Let's see. How about they have maybe they've got a little bit of like because they do have the Vanguard trait. Like they do get in there every now and again. Maybe they're a little bit emotional. You know what I mean? Like whenever their friends are in danger, they immediately like they feel the necessary to get up in there.
Okay.
Support. Or yeah.
It's better phrasing.
AD carry. No, that's the opposite. That's the opposite of support.
No. I don't know.
So, shoulder to lean on or something like that, maybe?
Shoulder to shoulder.
Shoulder to shoulder. That's good. Shoulder to shoulder. One more. Cerebral as fuck. Do your research. Shoulder to shoulder.
That one is a little general, but...
Yeah, but that's more of like anytime you want to support a friend, you might get a bonus. You know what I mean?
Support your friend in like a high stress situation.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So I think like it's pretty narrow.
Yeah.
Narrow enough.
Well, the thing about these is that they can always be, taken and narrowed in their scope in any situation. That's a GM thing, like we talked about.
Yeah, have it be as long as it's tied to your character's backstory.
Exactly.
Then instead of just, I guess, apply fist to face. Just like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think the next one should be maybe they're a little bit cracked. Maybe they're like a crackpot.
Screw loose?
Yeah, screw loose. Like in situations where like acting crazy would give a benefit, maybe because I mean, if we're going to give them a Horus mech, maybe they're a little bit fucked up.
A little kooky. Little kooky.
Let's roll.
I roll the first one this time.
Cerebral
as fuck.
I want to roll a 4 so bad. I'm cooking this dice.
Cerebral as fuck.
Cooking it. Come on, give me a 4. Give me a 4. That's another one.
Reroll.
Okay.
Reroll.
Come on, dice gods.
Giveth.
Look upon me.
Giveth.
Fuck. That's a 2.
Do your research.
Cool. Okay.
What makes do your research and cerebral as fuck different? I guess do your research is more
of gathering data, and cerebral.
Oh, this one has to deal with NHP specifically, correct?
Yeah. NHPs, or maybe like interacting with other hyperlogical people, like other cerebral individuals, scientists, specialists, and engineers. Maybe like she has the hardest time talking to like soldiers and like everyday people.
Yeah.
You know?
So this is kind of like a persuasion skill, but specifically for intellectuals.
Sure.
Or scientists or
exactly
NHPs.
Engineers.
Yeah. Okay. I
cool.
like that. Yeah. Very nice.
Great.
So we got that. We got our abilities.
Let's flip to the Horus mechs.
So first we got to get these little deals.
Oh yeah, the skills.
The skills. So we got one for Hull.
Okay.
Which is fine. They're kind of frontliney, so I think that makes sense. Also systems.
That works great.
It's fine.
Yeah. Amazing. Systems and Hull. All right. Now Horus is located on page 190.
Yes. So if you're following along with us, page 190 to check out all the super cool Horus mechs.
Look at these. So this is definitely the coolest art.
So we talked about Horus a little bit before, but just as like a brief reiteration, Horus is a company in that there seems to be some kind of cohesion between the mechs and stuff, but there isn't like an actual, like a physical company or like a physical manufacturing site that makes Horus mechs. Horus is kind of this amalgamous entity on the OmniNet. Sometimes when someone's printing out a Sherman, sometimes you get some weird spikes and stuff on it, and it ends up being some new kind of Horus mech.
Oh, yeah. Or
some people go research on the dark web and they find out crazy blueprints for some mech that they've never seen, and then that ends up being a Medusa or some other crazy mech. So
yep, this does say that Horus mechs are universally highly coveted and are distributed according to no discernible requirements. So they just certain people just get them.
Yeah, they just kind of happen.
Yeah, and that scholars and specialists who study Horus generally assume that the collective's licenses, that is, access to deep level design specifications and print patterns, are available only in limited quantities, likely becoming available after the corporeal death of their previous holders. So there is talk that basically, like, once somebody dies who has a Horus mech, then that license in some unknown esoteric way gets passed on to the next person.
Right.
which is great, cool backstory stuff that you could implement.
Absolutely.
Great.
They do get some bonuses. Correct. Being part of the Horus, or being part of the, or getting enough license levels within Horus, you get some interesting stuff. You get extra bonuses to different abilities and targets. You get some extra reactions.
They're called the lesson of disbelief, the lesson of the open door, the lesson of the held image, the lesson of thinking tomorrow's thought, the lesson of transubstantiation, and the lesson of shaping, which are all like Horus lessons in their book called The 6 Lessons of Kilo Nueve. That's cool. It's basically pluses to systems. Let's see. You can use reactions to lock on. When you hit with a tech attack, your next melee attack against the target gains accuracy. So very much like very tech-based. And the lesson of shaping, you may install an additional AI in your mech.
Jesus.
If one enters Cascade or becomes unshackled, the other prevents it from taking control. You only lose control of your mech if both AI-tagged systems or equipment enter Cascade.
That might be something for this character.
The lesson of shaping.
Oh, no.
Cool.
Yeah,
all right.
You get all kinds of really cool mechs.
Mechs.
The naming schema is based off of, like classic
monsters.
Classic monsters. So
Baylor,
Goblin.
Goblin.
There's a Medusa, the Gorgon.
The Hydra.
Hydra deals with like their own version of like Nexus drones and stuff.
Manticore.
Yeah, that's kind of like
Minotaur. And the Pegasus.
I don't think anyone in particular kind of jumps out at me. Except maybe the Goblin.
Yeah.
But that's a little bit more techie. That's a little bit more, they're almost like the Mage, where they just get a bunch of interesting tech attacks to kind of fuck with enemy systems and stuff. But they're incredibly fragile.
Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Let's
Let's roll, shall we?
Let's roll. We're rolling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So roll a d8.
8.
8 reroll.
3.
Gorgon.
A Gorgon.
Gorgon.
Okay. Very nice. I believe the Gorgon is more of a debuff.
Gorgon.
They're kind of mech.
That's so cool looking.
Interesting. Very good.
So the Gorgon is unique among Horus pattern groups in that it prioritizes defensive systems meant to ensure personal and allied survival, which is great. That's perfect. The typical Gorgon mounts multiple weapon systems meant to identify and intercept incoming enemies, allow pilots to project a zone of control. It's feared for its ability to extrude a dangerous mimetic basilisk, a projected light cone of anti-cognitive hyperfractal visual data that is deadly to ontologic sapient beings.
Lots of fancy words.
That's crazy.
Basically shoot you with light to stun you.
Yeah. So this says the basilisk directed anti-cognition hyperfractal. Jesus. Extrude basilisk. You project a horrifying basilisk, a visual data pattern that is incredibly harmful to NHPs and electronic systems and hard to look at even for humans. For the rest of the scene, hostile characters must succeed on a system save before attacking you or any allied characters within 3. On a failure, they become stunned. Each character can only be stunned by this effect once per scene. So basically, it's like a...
It's like the Gorgon's stare
turning you to stone. Yeah, that's so interesting.
That's why they chose the name Gorgon.
That's so cool.
You also get some core traits just being the mech itself. When you make an attack, or when an attack against the Gorgon lands on a 1 or 2, they automatically miss and they become stunned.
That's crazy.
The Gorgon can take 2 reactions per turn instead of 1. And adjacent allied characters may use the Gorgon for hard cover.
That's insane. That is absolutely
so it's kind
nuts.
of like it's like made of stone.
And they have 2 main mounts and a flex mount. So a CQB weapon and a long range weapon. Mm-hmm. They don't do the middle ground. They either stay in the back and lob shots, or they're right in the front.
Or you can have a little bit of both.
Or they're right in the front and stunning. I think that's what I would do.
Because a flex mount can do, so they have basically, because a flex can either be 2 auxiliary weapons, so 2 smaller weapons, or a main weapon. So they get 3 different weapons. So you can have like a long range weapon, short range weapon, and then maybe like a couple of blades or something in case they get close.
That's so cool.
Oh yeah.
And look at all these arms.
Yep. And then having access to this beautiful mech here. Wait, hold on. Before access to this beautiful mech here. Let's flip over to their licenses really quick, because they do have a NHP, as I believe most of the Horus mechs do, which is going to be
Celia class or Scylla class in HP.
Scylla
That's
class?
a license 3. The first specification for the Gorgon pattern group hit a secret. Scylla, a dormant NHP unknown to Union until their first manifestation in 4,852 Union. When they wake after Union Science Bureau officers from a test fax Gorgon through a Bowwinder Bologna test. None of that makes sense. Quick action. Until the start of your next turn, you gain 2 special reactions that allow you to skirmish in response to these triggers. If a hostile character makes an attack against you within 3, or a hostile character attempts to attack or interact with an object chosen when you use Unleash Scylla within line of sight, characters are aware of the object chosen. This is perfect for frontline fighting.
Oh, 100%.
And you get a Vorpal gun.
That's down at, license level.
That's insane.
License
and
level 3.
Of course, it's called Snicker Snack, because as we know, the Vorpal blade goes Snicker Snacker.
It's a Vorpal gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sweet. And that's just license level. Yeah, that's license level 3.
Yep.
Just
3.
3.
And then you get some other stuff here. Drone, Mimic Mesh, and a Scorpion weapon.
Yeah, they get an extra reaction. Yeah, so as you start to get more of the license levels, second one gets you the actual Gorgon frame. They have their own special weapons involved with that. Real cool.
Yeah, we forgot to cover the Sherman's license levels, but that's okay.
Let's do it real quick. Just real quick. Go back to the Sherman.
Sure.
Sherman.
There we go.
Boom. Sherman
gets an NHP too, the Asura class.
Fairly common.
Which lets you expend a charge to take 2 additional quick action or 1 additional full action in the turn.
Yep.
And a Tachyon Lance. Oh, baby.
That's the big boy.
That's so cool.
That's the big boy ordnance weapon on their shoulder.
Is that the super heavy cannon on their shoulder?
That's the shoulder cannon right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby.
That's so cool. And then lots of system upgrades. Reactor stabilizer, redundant system upgrade, laser rifle. Super cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's come up with a name and a call sign.
Name and call sign.
For this lady.
Shalahue. So what are we thinking? Let's give it a couple.
Let's roll random now. Yeah. Corel Flanord.
I like Corel.
Corel is good. Not Flanord, though.
Not Flannard.
Flannard. Corel. What if she's like Polish or Russian or something?
Netrovsky.
Netrovsky.
Mm-hmm.
Netrov.
Gorgonovsky.
Yeah, I like Netrovsky. Let's just do that. Netrovsky.
Yep.
Great.
Call sign.
Future. Camazotz. Leopard.
No.
Rogue.
No.
Horus.
No.
Seawolf.
No.
Hugin and Munin. The 2 ravens of
Bannister.
Sleipnir. Simurg. Ooh, Simurg is cool.
Simurg?
A Simurg is a flying like cat eagle monster. I'm pretty sure.
Now, what would that significance be? Being called Simurg.
Look.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a fox
bird.
Yeah, it bears some benevolent bird from Persian mythology. What if we do since we chose Netrovsky, what if we do a Russian monster?
Okay. I kind of like that because Horus, Horus tend to their naming schemes off of like classic monsters and stuff.
How about Baba Yaga?
No, not Baba Yaga.
Leshy.
The Leshy?
Chort. Kikimora.
Goes
by Kiki.
Corel. Kiki, yeah.
Kikimora. Let's do it. Kikimora is a house spirit. Can either be helpful or harmful.
NHPs.
That's perfect.
NHPs.
That's perfect.
Are kind of like
Kikimora with an O.
Kikimora.
Yeah, that's great.
Kikimora. That's her call sign as a pilot.
Yeah.
Is Kikimora.
And so it's Zuzu and Kiki.
Yeah. I like that. Okay.
That's so good. Cool.
Very nice.
I'm really happy with these 2.
These are great.
We have 2 like just absolute dudes and then 2 very diverse women.
2 very diverse, strong women. Mm-hmm. 1 scientist and 1 badass frontline soldier.
Hell yeah.
We like this.
We like.
Very nice.
Very nice.
It's very nice.
Hell yeah, baby.
Oh my God.
Whew. There's a lot of sci-fi terms coming out of our mouths.
Yeah, sorry. A lot of sci-fi terms. I mean, to be honest, I don't understand some of them myself because a lot of them are very specific too.
Yeah.
Lancer, they come up with some very fun sci-fi fantastical sounding weapons and stuff.
Tachyon lance, Vorpal gun.
Well, tachyon's actual
a tachyon word. Is what, like a space particle or something like that?
I think.
What is a tachyon?
What is
hypothetical particle that is proposed to always travel faster than the speed of light.
So cool. Tachyon lance is something shoots faster than
the speed of light.
Okay,
cool. I think that's it.
I think that is it.
Again, thanks for, if you are watching and you're liking what we're doing, thanks for sticking with us. We're gonna start putting out some questions to see where we should go next, whether we stay with sci-fi, whether we go back to fantasy. And then next week, if all things go well, we're going to hit the recap. We're going to cover the characters. We're going to look into the campaign, maybe flesh out some missions, some downtime activities, and then maybe some GM tips for how we would prep a Lancer session.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye. Okay, bye.